your mojo. You were not the same player.
Sometimes when you go to certain places, you have to shut up. You have to. I didn't have a choice but to change who I was to be in that atmosphere.
But did it affect your game is all I'm saying.
You know it did, because I played one style my entire career. And when you take that style away, whatever it might be, regardless of what people might say, right, I was successful doing it one way.
Right.
Period. When you take that away and all of a sudden, oh, something's wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with me physically.
Right.
I can play the game. Come on. Be for real.
Okay,
Wait,
I'm going to be for real.
I'm not finished. And the thing you just said about the whole filming thing and establishing the atmosphere of no tolerance, it couldn't have been right if someone just got arrested and was still able to play the game.
You're referring to Jonathan Amaya. He was arrested for choking a taxi driver, charged with battery.
Maybe it's a little different. Maybe because I don't know. You know, no disrespect to Jay. I'm just trying to make a point. I'm just trying to make a point here. You know, great player, you know, or whatnot. But I'm just trying to make a point.
Chad,
that's it.
If you were that valuable to Philbin, he would have let you get away with that one.
You think so?
Well,
you think so? Are you really? Are you
that's the way the NFL works.
Nate, are you serious?
I just said it.
You think so?
That's my view. What's yours?
I doubt it. It wouldn't have happened. Regardless of where I was. Maybe if I was a little younger, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you were that valuable, if you were in the midst of 6 straight Pro Bowls from 03 through 07, I think you could get away with one big mistake, and that was a big mistake, but I think you would have gotten away with it. But he was looking for the littlest excuse to make an example of you in front of the team.
That wasn't a little excuse.
I'm just saying, you gave him a big one, but he was looking for the littlest one. If you had missed a curfew, you would have been gone because you weren't that valuable to him.
I'm asleep by 8:30. Either way it goes, I made a huge mistake regardless. I don't care where I was. I would have gotten cut. Period. That big. Period.
Okay. But
so, in other words, you're trying to say, as we sit here this morning, that it had very little to do with your skills. There's no erosion, there's no lost step, there's no anything.
You know, this is the funny thing I love about y'all when you talk about people's skills.
Go ahead.
Everyone has their perception, and the only thing you have to go off is numbers. I can't control them numbers. I can't. I can't at all. The people that have to deal with me, I would have to say in practice, the coaches, those are the people you need to talk to. If there's something wrong with my skills, how about you ask them?
First of all, with all due respect, I would appreciate it if you stop assuming we didn't, because I have.
All of you do.
Let me finish.
All of you do.
Let me
you say your school.
I'm going to answer your question. No, I'm going to answer. You made an accusation.
Because that's what you do. Anytime you talk about a player's skills, you say, look, your numbers here, they have dwindled, so that means you can't play the game.
That's not all we do. What we do is we sit there and we look at you. We go by what we see.
If you looked at me, then you would know I can still play.
We got the platform. I'm going to let you speak. All I'm saying to you is, not only do you look at the numbers, you look at people, you talk to people who play with you, against you. You talk to NFL aficionados and analysts who have played the game, and these are the things that people have said. Don't sit here and act like somebody who's just looking at a piece of paper and numbers and saying this.
What are you saying? Are you saying I can't play
asking.
Anymore?
Of course not. I believe you can. I thought you let New England steal your mojo. That's all. I believe you can play. But there are people who are saying, Chad, you ain't what you used to be. That's not true?
Is there anybody that stays the same when they were in their 20s to 34?
I'm asking you, Chad.
I can play the game. I can play. Am I still the same as I was when I was in my 20s? I would think not.
No, I'm talking about from a few years ago, because you haven't played that much over the last few years. So I'm thinking, did you lose a step or didn't you? Can you still ball? That's what I'm asking.
Of course I can still ball.
All right.
That's easy.
Okay.
The game is easy. The game of football is easy, but somewhere along the line, I lost my way. Where, at what point did it happen? I don't know.
Okay, now let me answer that.
Skip. Don't do that.
I just used my eyes, and I watched you in the Hard Knocks video in early practice sessions in training camp, and you looked as quick and as fast. And I said so sitting right here in this chair as I had seen you look in Cincinnati. I didn't get to see you in New England because we didn't get to see a peep of you in New England. But in this case, I said, wow, that looks like Chad Johnson to me. Then you get in the exhibition game and you immediately dropped a couple of big balls because you're putting so much pressure on yourself that you couldn't live up to that mountainous image that you had made. Well, you drop balls.
What is this with dropping the ball? Everybody drops the ball. That's the dumbest thing I hear people say. Oh, you're a receiver, but you dropped the ball.
You drop them.
It happens.
You're making a first impression.
It happens.
Okay,
I'm not making a first impression. My resume speaks for itself.
On this group, it's a first impression.
Man, child, please.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
Well,
my resume speaks for itself. I can drop a ball.
Okay. Then guess what happened?
I've earned the right to drop the ball.
Then we got to see inside the coaches' meeting, and they're all saying that you're driving them nuts in practice because you leave the line of scrimmage waving your hand at the quarterback.
I always waving the hand. I don't wave my hand.
Well, I saw a lot of video waving. I'm open.
Because I'm always open. I can't be covered. Period. That's no secret.
Okay, that to them became a big distraction. They didn't like it. The quarterback didn't like it.
He didn't tell me that.
Well, they did in the meeting. I saw it in the meeting room. You know, not only did we not have to interview them, we got to go inside their meeting room.
It wasn't that bad. It's not that serious. It's pretty good knowing you have someone that can always be open constantly. It ain't a problem. Trust me. It ain't a problem.
Chad Johnson, I believe you can still play. A matter of fact, I can think of a few teams that if you're not, you'd be at least a prime number 2 receiver on. But let me say something to you that some aficionados have said.
Yes, sir.
When you went to New England, this was the ultimate indictment against you. Not even about losing a step. They said that the system in Cincinnati was relatively simplistic, whereas in New England, it was significantly more complicated. And as a result, whether it's unwillingness or inability to grasp the system contributed to your demise. And they also pointed out, I don't care what kind of receiver you are, if you've got any kind of skill sets in your body, and you understand the game of football, you should be able to play with Tom Brady as a receiver.
I think you.
What do you say to that?
You really just insulted me.
No, I haven't.
Whoever.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Chad Johnson has been extremely good at what he does for a long time.
Yes, you have.
I played in Cincinnati to much success, but I wasn't playing with Tom Brady. To use the systems, regardless, the verbiage really doesn't change that much. The concepts are the same no matter where you go on all 32 teams.
Really? I'm asking.
The concepts of an offense are the same regardless of where you go. The verbiage might change a little bit, but it's not that different.
Then why were you at the Super Bowl?
You're gonna ask me?
Go ahead. I thought you was finished. Go ahead.
There's nothing I can do. I can play the game. Period.
I'm asking. I'm watching you do an interview during the Super Bowl. Prior to the week of the Super Bowl, you were sitting there talking to our boy Primetime, Deion Sanders, and you acknowledged how humbled you had gotten because you weren't receiving the playing time and certainly wasn't getting the touches. Based on what you just said, what was that conversation with Primetime about?
What did you want? What was I supposed to say? I wasn't throwing anybody under the bus over there. I wasn't going to say anything negative about anybody over there. I'm just talking.
Oh,
can I do that?
I'm saying I thought you were acknowledging.
No, I did what I was supposed to do, like I did the entire season.
So you were being PC.
Why wouldn't I be?
Okay.
Why wouldn't I be?
Okay. All right.
You said yourself you know I can play.
I believe that.
And ain't nothing wrong with your eyes either. Like, oh, the Chad Johnson of old in Miami. No, I never went anywhere. I'm still not going anywhere.
Okay, then I need an answer.
About what?
What went wrong in New England? Because let me say, before you answer, let me.
I don't know.
Okay, let me answer.
I don't know.
You made me. Wait a second. You made me look like. Listen. You made me look like a fool on this show day after day. Did I not support Chad Johnson? At that point, you were Ocho Cinco. And I saw you the previous March. And I told you, if you get a shot to go play with Brady and Belichick, leave Ocho Cinco behind in Cincinnati, your alter ego, because they don't play that game. And Stephen A. immediately, to his credit, piped up and said, no, that's who he is. That's his driving force. That's his lifeblood is Ocho Cinco. And I said, nope, they'll figure it out. This will be the deep threat that Tom Brady does not have in New England. What went wrong? That's all I want to know. Give me an answer.
I don't know.
You know what went wrong.
I don't know. How are the receivers doing over there this year? Pretty good?
Yeah. Pretty great.
The receivers? The outside receivers? Everything good?
Yeah. Brandon Lloyd's doing great.
That's cool. Okay.
Is he better than you are?
Of course. Why wouldn't he be?
Well, you say you can still
You
ball.
don't mean that.
Come on.
See, that's BC right there.
Of course he is.
So that's what we doing now. That's what we do. We asking you direct questions. You giving us PC now. That's
okay.
okay.
You PC.
You just said it.
The numbers speak for themselves. Brandon Lloyd is over there having a great year, wearing 85 in the same position I was in, didn't he? So that means he's better than me.
Or does it just mean he picked up the offense quicker than you picked it up?
He's been in the same offense, the whole while. Same thing.
Let me throw it now. Let me throw it.
But wait, he's not answering the question. We're going to let him off this hook?
No,
Go ahead.
We're not.
Come on, what happened?
Go ahead, Skip.
What went wrong in New England? Just give us one.
I don't know.
Nothing?
I don't know.
All right.
Nothing?
Well, let me say this to you.
Where we at?
You know what? I got profound respect for Teddy Bruschi, don't you? Multiple champion.
Who?
Teddy
Teddy
Bruschi.
Bruschi.
For the former New England Patriot, who's an NFL analyst right here.
yeah.
You know who the hell he is.
I do now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Okay. You know what I asked him?
What?
I said, explain something to me, Teddy. Does Bill Belichick and the New England culture under Bob Kraft, do they ask you to shred who you are in order to perform? Teddy says to me, never. He said, just don't get in trouble. Don't embarrass the organization like that. Don't get in trouble. He said, other than that, whatever it takes for you to perform, do it. So when I sit there and I say to you, your mojo was taken away from you, and you say, what was I supposed to do? You do understand that that's the complete antithesis of what people who have played for the New England Patriots swear by. They say, no, that's not true. As long as you can ball and stay out of trouble, which you were at the time because you didn't get in any trouble until you left, okay? You weren't in any trouble. You're a model citizen in New England. So how they steal your mojo?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't even know. Why are we even talking about New England?
Because it's relevant, because that right now.
Relevant?
I'm going to tell you why it's relevant. I'm going to answer your question.
Actually, nothing about me is relevant right now.
Yes,
so it doesn't matter.
Excuse me, sir.
It doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about New England. I don't want to talk about Miami. I came up here to debate. That's what I want to do. I want to debate.
Well, let me say this. Because here's where the debate comes in. Forget New England. Forget Miami. But that is what people are using to say, you are not what you used to be. What do you have to say to those people who feel that way based on your last 2 stints in the NFL? That's a fair question.
What am I supposed to say? What do you want me to say?
What do you want to say?
I can still play football. That's
okay,
it.
but
what?
the
Why?
league...
Why it went wrong in New England? I don't know.
Okay, you know what, Chad?
Why did it go wrong in New England?
You
you asking me all these answers like I don't know why it went the way it did.
Well, you have a thought.
So
I know
funny.
there's a thought in the back of your head.
Of course there's a thought in my head. You think I'm going to say it here? No.
Chad, with all due respect, I'm going to say this on the air on live television.
Please.
I'm one of those people, man. I believe your personal life is your business. I don't give a damn about your personal life. I'm glad. I wish you well. I wish the best for you. But what you do as a football player is everybody's business. And I would appreciate it if you stand up here front and center and let the world know what you are and who you are as a football player. You have a right to speak on that, and we have a right to ask.
You hear what you're asking me?
You're a football player.
You telling me to tell you who I am as a football player. You know what I am as a football player.
I know what you used to be.
Listen. Well, what do you want? What do you want me to do? The pass, it didn't work out in New England. What you want me to do?
I'm saying.
What do you want me to do? It didn't work out in New England. What do you want me to say?
Chad, you have a football acumen. You understand this game better than us. So tell us who you are as a football player. What do you have to offer to a team right now, Tad? Could you be a #1 receiver for any team in this NFL right now?
You think I couldn't? Why? Because it didn't work in New England?
I'm asking.
Of course I can. But you think I can because it didn't work in New England?
No.
Maybe the system didn't fit.
Yes, I do.
But I don't.
Listen,
I believe you can.
Maybe the system didn't fit for me. Maybe it didn't fit for me.
Well,
maybe
tell us why.
Fit for me.
Educate us.
How am I supposed to know why?
You're the football player.
It would be you.
Then I don't want you on my team if you don't know why.
Who are you? That's why you're sitting here and not a GM. Listen, it didn't work in New England. It worked for 10 years, and I get to New England, it didn't work. Maybe it's a system. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but it didn't work. And what makes it even worse, it didn't work with one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. There was nothing I could do. I wasn't going to complain. I wasn't going to, excuse my language, I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to do anything to deter or be a distraction in New England. I went to practice. I worked hard. I did everything I was supposed to do. I didn't get the touches I wanted. I was upset, of course. Why am I upset? Because I'm playing with one of the best teams, let alone quarterbacks, that will ever play. Period. Case closed. I'm not finesse.
Do you feel, so listen to the full question, do you feel you should have a job in the NFL, or do you feel you should be a #1 receiver for somebody in the NFL?
I'm not worried about numbers. I think a job is sufficient for me. I think a job is sufficient for me.
May I tell you why I'm concerned about the numbers?
Why?
Because the Chad Johnson that I know would embrace the challenge of somebody doubting him and be hell-bent on proving not only do I belong in this game, I'm still an elite player in this game. And that's not where I'm hearing from you right now,
That
bro.
comes from
I'm not
play.
hearing that
That
from you.
comes from play. I have no leverage to come off like that right now.
Okay.
I have no leverage to come off like that right now.
Okay, that's
which is
fair.
why I'm taking
That's
the approach
fair.
I'm taking.
That's
I don't have
fair.
leverage. I think a job will suffice, and then putting it back on the green grass the way I used to, then we'll talk about numbers. That's all.
Chat, you're facing NFL extinction.
Skip,
Okay, listen.
look at me.
This is,
if I
this is-
don't play again, I'm going to be all right.
I believe you will be all right.
It's not an issue.
My fear is you will not play again.
Okay.
This was an opportunity.